So earlier today, some pretty exciting news dropped. Bringing it up here, you can see you can see uh, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool news. The Chiefs got signed. The Chiefs have signed a roster. I should say the Gospel of Lockie got signed. Congratulations to them. The last of the big three teams here in Oceania actually was able to find an org. The Chiefs are returning. They have a history of success in this region. I imagine their expectations are that's going to be continuing. And with that, I mean, we have it. Power, Pioneers, and now the Chiefs kind of replacing Ground Zero atop the mountain as the big three teams people are going to be looking out for and rooting for. This is obviously great news. This is exciting, especially with people kind of questioning what this year is going to look like. The fact that we have three orgs on our top three teams is great. However, the question is, what about the bubble scene teams? Are they going to get orgs? How many teams are actually going to be getting picked up? And whilst I would personally love every single team from 1 all the way down to 20 to realistically get picked up by a team. And yes, there are some up there. Ground Zero, obviously. Fizz 6 is up there. They've got themselves a nice looking team. The harsh reality is not all of them are going to get a team just because of the nature of Oceania. Picking up a roster can be quite difficult. That said, if I had the funds and if I had the money and capabilities to do it, I kind of put together my top 5 teams that I personally would sign. Now, a bit of an asterisk next to this one. This is who I would sign, not necessarily who I'd recommend others to sign. And it kind of goes based on what I would be looking for, which is, top players, but with room to grow, expand, and get better, and kind of like a high ceiling, as well as players who I think are popular and who have resonated with people watching along. And last but not least, players who I probably could see myself, hopefully getting along with. Those are kind of the things I would look for if I was an owner. And yeah, cutting it down to 5 was actually really, really difficult. That said, I did have 2 honorable mentions, which didn't quite get the cut for whatever reason. Those, of course, are going to be Monkey Hibbit and the Gaming Gamers. They're each my honorable mentions, as in these are teams I would recommend people pick up and sign immediately, particularly that Gaming Gamers lineup, Zen, Matthew, Lunar. This is a team that should be hitting top 8. Everyone's telling me they're grinding, they're working, they're playing hard. I always get a little nervous when you have players coming out of retirement, when you have Zen, who I've seen how he plays in AEL, but Matthew is hungry. From what I hear, Zen is hungry again. This team could be scary. I don't want to be the guy, though, to take away the Gaming Gamers moniker. I also feel that's a staple, so that's probably why I wouldn't sign him. Plus, Zen's the one who kind of, got me into Rocket League alongside High and Dover, so I don't want to... It would be a weird relationship, so I couldn't see myself owning them. Monkey Hibbit. Look, Big Rooster is one of the most fun names. They're a fun team to root for. The big problem I have with them is I'm not sure I'd be getting the consistent results. I want to believe in Volt and Big Rooster. I want to see them go far. They haven't shown me that consistency yet, and if I were to be throwing down money for a team, I would recommend these guys because you're going to get good engagement. I don't know if they're going to be constantly, though, playing in stream matches, playing up there in the big times. We'll see, though. Could be proven wrong, but they're each my honorable mentions. So, that aside now, let's get in who my top 5 teams I would hire, or I would buy, or I think get an org, whatever. If I was an org owner, these are the top 5 teams I would put on. Number 5, I have Kakas Minions. Now, this is a little bit of a surprise when Kakas Minions putting them all the way down at number 5, because I think for most people they would be kind of that big gimme. They're the team that you'd want consistent top 4 performances, top 3s on occasion. They can beat the big teams. They have done so in the past. But there are going to be a couple little question marks, I feel like, for the squad. The fact that they're going to be returning after not having played together for a while. The fact that they were never able to get it done. And I think the big point of concern for me is the expectations and the price tag that might come with it. I think out of all the teams I'm listing, they would probably be the most expensive to hire. Now, I could be wrong. I haven't even asked, so what do I know? But I feel like, especially coming off, the season that Kaka had in particular, they might be looking for a bit of that cash money. And they deservingly so. Like, these players deserve to get paid a bit. Like, they have that success. They've had the success in the past. I don't think they necessarily got it till the end when they had their tenure with Ground Zero. But for the longest time, they really weren't getting what I feel like they deserved. And I just don't know on a personal level, like if I were coming in, I kind of want the growing team. These guys are already established, so that comes with those expectations. If the future only goes up, I could be proven wrong on this one, but either way, the fact that they don't have an org yet is borderline criminal. I have them at number 5. My number 4 team, I would pick up if I could. They whomst cooketh. Look, this team, I mean, they're a fun one. I again, bringing up that roster again real quick. First of all, you can see the sense of humor right here. I always love a team with a sense of humor. Matro, I feel, had some amazing sub-performances where he was able to get so far. We're talking top 8 finishes last season. I think Aziz is a player who is 500% on the rise, and we're going to be seeing more and more from them. Is this team a lock top 8? No. But what I think this team is a team to be excited about. And I think a lot of times when you're looking for a bubble team, you're going to be looking for that team that can pull off the upset and maybe like shock a team or two and like get the people rallying behind them. And Matro has already proven they can do that. Plus you have veteranship in both Panzer and Orvity. Again, I think this is an exciting team, and it's hitting a lot of the check marks I would be looking for. So for a lot of reasons, I do like this squad. For a lot of reasons, I can see myself picking them up. And at number 4, yeah, if I could afford it, man, that would be a team I would be going for. At number 3, Tikitaka, Sour, PB, Tonio, and CX9. Look, the big reason why I'm liking this team, I like me some CX9. I love me some Sour, though. This kid's been on the scene, grinding, ages, super friendly. Talked to, have gotten along with Sour pretty well, I'd like to think. And he's always kind of performed. I mean, it feels like every other regional event, all of a sudden, oh, yep, there's Sour on a team hitting that top 8 again, like consistently getting up there, boom, boom, boom. Tonio, as well, as a player who had success, had the spotlight on him, kind of shied away a little bit, but came back. But the reason why, again, I would like to invest in this team, again, if I had the big bucks to do so, I just believe, with that little bit of incentive, this is a team that would probably start to grind that a little bit more. If I was the owner, trust me, I'd be getting them scrimming every day of the week. And I think with that added, sort of oomph, this could be a team to get there. Now, PB, not too sure where they sit, not too sure on them as a player. I'd be happy to learn about them. But this is kind of me banking on Sour being consistent in the top 8. Always, again, I think this is the team that's always going to play up to their level, but then sometimes maybe play down to their level as well. They're kind of in that middle ground, which makes them exciting. Hey, you'll want to watch it. So, yeah, Tikitaka, they're my number 3 team. Number 2 team I would pick up, and look, I have this logo up there because I couldn't get their actual one. It just took a little bit too long. Sorry, Ball. But yeah, I'm putting Cold here. Remick is a player that I feel is very similar, I guess, in terms of skill where I value to Sour, but Remick has that playstyle that I love. I don't know. Something about Remick always gets me excited because I always feel like he's going to do something that I just don't expect or wouldn't necessarily, have seen before in terms of the positioning, the types of challenges they're going to be choosing. Ball is another player that I just associate with winning, particularly throughout the bubble scene. Ball always is able to kind of get those deeper runs, and Stainless in the Arena X event blew my mind how strong he was looking. Stainless, I think, was like the perfect glue to kind of piece this team together. And in that Arena X tournament, I was like, okay, no, these guys are real. And they are a real threat, I think, to be getting top 8s. And I would want to invest in this team to be ahead of that curve. Now, I don't know. In the past, I feel like Remick has teetered on the edge of retiring. I don't know if that's the case now. I think with the team that looks as young and hungry in this one, I'm not sure that's the mindset at the moment, and I'd like to think they're going to continue to be pushing on. I also don't know what my rapport is like with Remick, so maybe that would be something I would love to grow because I absolutely am a fan of the player. But I think this is a cool team. I would be investing. Again, if I had that money, I'd be investing. I don't think they're going to be too high on the budget. We will see. Obviously, once you start getting results and the prices come up, but they're not quite proven in RLCS yet, and I like to get in, before things get hot. So if I'm investing that money, boom, they're my number 2 team. Number 1, though, come on. You should know this by now. It's going to be the Gremlins. I mean, it is criminal that these guys don't have an org yet, and I have a feeling they will before the time is done. I mean, again, first of all, look at how adorable they are. Like, can we just take a moment to appreciate how cute these 4? No, but seriously, Cabo, Vortex, Caleb, Snowy. I'm assuming the lineup that we're going to be seeing a lot of is going to be Cabo, Vortex, and Caleb. Caleb is that player who I think has been on the cusp of greatness for a little while now. And maybe it might make others a little frustrated if I continue to beat that Caleb drum and he hasn't really hit that top 4 finish yet, or kind of did actually, but consistently like rising up to the heights. Gus kind of is the one on that merge squad that got taken away. But at that same token, I still am a Caleb fan more so than not. Cabo obviously is fantastic. I think Cabo somehow, some way, has just been getting better and better over the past year, when I thought maybe they had peaked a year and a half ago. Nope, they still keep finding ways to improve. And Vortex is, I would say, the most consistent top 8 player, maybe next to Cabo and like outside of, the big names. But like if you're looking at bubble teams, the players who are always in that top 8, like I want to believe Vortex is there, at least performance wise, even on the up and down, squads of like 95X in the past. I feel Vortex was arguably like consistent on that team. So you've got consistency, proven results. Every time I talk to these guys, they've been super chill with me. I have a bit of history racing F1 with Vortex. Cabo is someone who I chat, and I like Cabo's a cool dude. He's been really helpful in helping me just kind of figure out what the hell I'm doing sometimes, so I'm very appreciative towards him. Gremlins, for me, I'd be expecting constant top 8 results. I'd be expecting, when they start to win, people to rally behind them because they have that upset potential that everyone wants to see. And at the end of the day, I think the crowd can get behind this team. Cabo has fans. Vortex should have fans. Oh, and I almost forgot, Snowy. Snowy's back and on a team and as a reserve. And I think that's awesome because Snowy, I think, is like one of the most down-to-earth people in the scene. So I like the Gremlins. I like the cut of their jib. I like their potential. I like how they're always going to be fighting for top 4. And if I were to invest in a team, they might be a little bit pricey, but they're not as pricey as Kakas Minions, I would hope. Maybe they are. I don't know. At the end of the day, I haven't asked people their value. But the number 1 team, if people ask me, hey, who should I invest in? Get in on the Gremlins. I think they are going to be that fun team to watch out for. Unless you have the budget to go Kakas Minions, then maybe that. So, to recap, my top 5. At number 5, Kakas Minions. Number 4, Them's Who Cooketh. Number 3, Tikitaka. Number 2, Cold. And number 1, Gremlins. Now, there are a couple teams in here that you might be surprised I didn't include. A big one would be, I think, Long Red Cordial, Hawk's team. That team, I think, is also really, really strong. Hawk, he was in my Twitch chat earlier today, fired up that I was like maybe not expecting them to be super try-hard. Hey, if they're going to be, I'm all for it. I'd be a little bit nervous to invest in them right now, though, just because of their tendency. They disappeared in the past. They have to earn back that trust if I were to be dropping, money on a team. But that said, hey, if you want a team that, has the potential, sky's the limit, I guess that could be another one as well. But that's neither here nor there. Again, this is a very personal list. This is who I would invest in. And, well, there they all are. Look, I'm planning on doing more content throughout the year, more videos like this. And if you enjoyed it, please like, follow, subscribe, do all those silly YouTube things. If you don't like it, just yell at me in the comments about how all my opinions are wrong and stupid. I'm finally starting to grow that thick skin to it, so we're finally getting there. Anyways, have a great day, everybody. And you know what? Open qualifiers this Saturday and Sunday. Good luck for all you players. I am rooting for everybody, as cheesy as that sounds. Just make sure you have a good time and do OCE proud.